Hi, Alissa.
Hey, Katy.
Welcome to episode number 291. Today is my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Oh, we didn't bring cake or confetti or anything.
Nothing. Woohoo.
Hooray! And today we're going to talk about why are you growing your business?
Yeah.
Or what's your why?
Yeah, why is your goal your goal?
Let's get deep.
What is your goal?
For my birthday, we're going to get deep.
Okay. Okay.
What is your goal?
I guess this is a little bit of a mindset episode.
100%.
Because as y'all know, if you've listened to other goal setting episodes, I don't necessarily have a number that I pick every year. I mean, my last several years have been in a very close-knit range. So I guess to me, I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Because it seems to produce those results.
And these results are acceptable.
Yes.
So good.
Yes. So that's my business plan of goal setting.
Keep going.
Keep going. It's working.
Right.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Episode over.
I mean, Enneagram 3 here, I do have to watch myself.
Because achievement is ingrained in who you are.
Yeah, it is.
Must achieve.
Yes, and I like money.
And numbers.
Right. All those things. But at some point, if I wanted to increase that number and hit, say, 30 million or something by myself.
Right.
Do you know what sort of life changes I would have to make?
Right.
I can't do that.
No.
At all.
Was there ever a point in your career when you were like, I think I will build a team and I will get to that 30, 40, $50 million in volume?
Ironically enough, the reason I never even considered it is because when I was new in 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, I was being so heavily recruited by people with teams telling me I needed to come to their brokerage and build a team. Just constantly inviting me to, oh, it's not a broker specific event. You can come, and then I am so dumb. I do show up and I'm the only one not wearing red. And I'm like, well, this clearly isn't a
right.
So I because of that, I didn't like any of those people.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, this must not be the way.
Right.
For me.
For you.
For me. I'm not saying all teams are like that. I'm just saying that my real estate journey, I started off as a solo agent.
Right.
And then the only people that ever were in my face and cared so much about my business, I was like, I don't really care for your
other solo agents didn't come to you and were like, you need to do this.
No.
They're just in their own lane.
Right.
Stay in your lane.
And it's almost like I was being hard-headed. The more you tell me
I have to do
you have to do this to be successful, the more I was on a mission to be like, no, I don't.
No, I really don't. But again, teams are fine.
Yeah, and we actually are going to have a really good episode on teams.
We're working on it. Okay. If you're listening to this episode, we know you like data and numbers, so we know you're going to love this freebie.
In episode 226, we talk about all the numbers that we track and how to treat your business like a business.
Grab your tracking spreadsheet at hustlehumblypodcast.com/track. But it's more about, do you know your why? Yeah. Or did someone else give you your why?
Correct.
Did someone else say, this is what you're supposed to do? I'm doing my air quotes.
Yes.
So are you supposed to build a team? Are you supposed to become your own broker? Are you supposed to leverage and outsource? And I don't know, is that what you want to do?
Right. I mean, I guess it very much depends. And you do have to really watch real estate because it is one of those careers where next thing you know, you haven't taken a day off, you haven't been on vacation.
Yeah.
Or if you are running a team, you are constantly having turnover. No one is staying put. You're always rehiring, retraining. At some point, I think it's important to track and monitor, is what you're doing for your work worth it? Is it what you need financially? Like, how much do you actually need?
Yeah.
Do you even, goals aside,
Right.
wishes and dreams and
Wishes and
ambitions
dreams.
aside, what would you actually need to support your family?
Yeah. We've heard Sarah talk about this before, your enough number. Like,
Yes.
what is your enough number? Like, whenever you meet agents before they become agents, or you used to at coffee, you'd be like, okay, tell me how much money you make now or how much money you need to make to survive. Like,
Yes.
what is the number that you have to make? What is your enough number?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can work backwards. Okay, well, this is the average price in our area. This is the average commission amount. This is how many transactions that would take. This is what the time commitment might look to be for that amount. And then they could be like,
Oh, wow.
Okay, I see. Or like, hey, here's how much taxes are going to be. So we don't just have to make this much money. We have to make this much money to get to your enough number. And I think that's also in like my business plans template, where you go in and you like this is the gross I want to make. This is the net I'm going to get.
Yeah.
And if the net doesn't look like the number you need to live, then that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
if when you change that number to be what you need and you see how many transactions that is for the average in your market and you're like, whoa, like I did 10 last year and this says I'm going to have to do 35 to get what I want.
Right.
How am I going to get there?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to get there? So, I mean, I don't think immediately going into hiring a team is going to get you there. Because now you're responsible for getting other people transactions.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to share. Where's our email that we got from our sweet listener?
It is right here.
Okay. This agent did not mention in the email that they're actually struggling financially per se.
No.
It sounds like they just constantly want more.
Mm-hmm.
So she was saying like she uses all these lead generation. You know, she does Boomtown, Market Leader, Bigger Pockets, HomeBot, Referral Maker, Zillow. Pretty much if you get those texts, it's like, hey, if we
got
have
leads in your area,
would you like them for 30%? And you, yeah, sure. Pretty much anything where she can get a lead. But she ends the email by saying she wants the leads so that she can hire people to have the leads.
And split the marketing costs.
I'm
trying to build enough business to work with the buyer's agent or a partner to split the marketing cost. So you spent the money to get the leads, to get another partner in order to split the cost of the money.
Do I need to tell the parable again?
Yes, the Mexican parable. Please, tell us again.
Okay, and just coming off of scuba diving in Mexico where there was nothing but fishermen on the shore.
Please tell us.
Okay, so there was a man fishing every single morning by himself, enjoying the sunrise on the beach, okay? This businessman from America comes along and is like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, well, this is my job. I catch fish. I bring it to the market. I sell it.
They were taking a siesta in the afternoon.
Yeah. He was like, this is just what I do. And he's like, well, what do you do the rest of the day after you catch your fish? He's like, I just, I take a siesta. I go dance with my wife. I go
play with my kids.
Yeah, beer with my amigos. I do this and that. And the American is like, well, you could set up 4 poles at a time and make even more. Mm-hmm. And then you could sell more. And then you could have enough money to hire people to do this. And then it would just snowball and you would continue to make more. And the fisherman was like, okay, yes. But okay, tell me more. Then what? And the American was like, then you could even outsource this and have teams in different locations and it would all be your fish. Everybody's going to want your fish, your company. You could grow this huge, successful corporation. And the fisherman is like, okay, yes, please tell me more. And the American is getting frustrated. He's like, and then when it's a huge success, you could just sell the whole company and retire and take siestas whenever you want and play with your kids and go dancing with your wife and have beer with your amigos and all of that to say, He's doing it.
You're already doing it.
He's living the dream.
Literally living the dream.
Living the dream without all the complications and headaches of getting there.
Right, because if the dream is to run a business, that's fine. There are lots of people that are fulfilled and are happy because they're running a bigger and bigger business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That is fulfilling. They want to manage people. They want to have lots of moving parts and all of that going on. But is that how you feel fulfilled? It's not how I feel fulfilled. The part that fulfilled me in my real estate career is the one-on-one client work.
Yeah.
Where you work with the person, they're happy, you achieve your goal, and then you move on to the next person.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe have built a relationship in the meantime. It's delightful.
Yes.
I don't want to go to bed at night and have trouble sleeping because I have 10 people on the team and we didn't get as many leads in this month as we did last month. And now I'm worried how they're going to feed their family. I only want to worry about how to feed my family.
Yeah.
That is me.
Right.
I'm not fulfilled by managing people. And there are lots of people who grow a nice, successful solo real estate career. And then they're like, well, I feel like I have capacity for more. I want to do something different. I've done as much as I can here. Maybe I would like to train or mentor or like have this team or build something different. That's totally fine.
Yes.
But why? If it's something that you feel called to do, that's totally different than just being like, well, that's what they said. The next step. It's like as if real estate has its own invisible corporate ladder.
Yes.
And I'm like, but why? You specifically didn't join corporate America. You specifically became a entrepreneur, a a self-employed person. You're an independent contractor. You didn't join up for the ladder.
Correct.
So why get on the ladder?
Mm-hmm.
That's your choice. That's your choice.
We are the only ones putting these pressures on ourselves. That's kind of true and kind of not true.
Right.
Because I know firsthand, especially my first 4 years in the business, how much I was approached and recruited and told what I should be doing. And even sometimes like clients who don't fully understand real estate will be like, are you ever going to like start your own brokerage? Why are you working for a brokerage?
Oh, I had plenty of clients ask me that.
And I'm like, never.
It just isn't what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's a different business.
It would be a different job.
That is a different job.
I would not be able to work with you if I was having to manage and chase around, 40 agents and handle their issues. Every time I have like lunch or something with Connie, I'm always leaving there like, yeah, nope. I don't want to do
Thanks for keeping me in line.
And she, on the other hand, is like totally made for it.
Yeah.
And can recite the code of ethics and can do all the things. But I see the questions that she gets from agents and I listen to how things are going. And it's like she handles it with such grace and professionalism. And I would be like, you are so dumb. Like I can't do that.
You're like, that's not me.
So it goes to show that the natural progression does not have to be solo to team to own broker. Now, one of the girls that we're going to interview soon, that was her exact flow.
Yeah.
And she's rocking it. And I truly believe like we're having her on because she has all the values that we admire.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not saying don't do this.
Right.
But you need to be like our fisherman friend.
Right.
And see it through to the end.
Right. What's the long-term plan here?
Yes. We get very excited about a new next step.
Yeah.
And we get really excited to make that Facebook announcement.
Yeah.
But then you realize what comes with it and the work that comes with it. And more times than not, the income that goes into your pocket is significantly less.
Yes.
While you are figuring out the growth process.
The billboard looks good. The park bench looks good. Wow, they have amazing marketing materials. They have all of this swag they give their clients. I'm like, okay, that's all great. Here are the big numbers. What were the expenses of that business? Mm-hmm. Because I might have more in my bank account than you do, and it looks like you have way more, but you had to spend a lot of it to run that business.
Yes. So
we need to know it's not apples to apples anyway.
Correct. And, this on the mindset side of things, I'm way better now. Every year I feel like I get better.
You're recovering.
Yeah. Podcast therapy has helped me tremendously.
Right.
But I would get so in my head about if I was doing enough. And when I would see someone post, and there was that one example where I was like, look, this agent posted that she has 6 figures in commission pending in 1 month. And you were the one who like pulled up the website, was like, oh, okay, well, she has 16 people on her team.
Let's do the math.
Let's divide, 100,000 by 6. Okay, so everybody got this much. Guess what, Alissa? You're winning.
And if that, you had to think about team dynamics. Maybe that was we're saying everyone did the same. Maybe someone's getting more than other ones. Maybe there's some very unhappy people on the team. There's some very like happy people. And maybe there's like animosity or some sort of friction. Like,
well, the head team leaders are going to be making the most.
Well, they get
their splits.
Everything.
They get their splits.
Just like a broker.
Yes. And so all of that to say, I am a huge advocate for fact checking.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I hear someone say, did you see so-and-so did 80 million? I'm the first to pull up MLS and say,
maybe that's not accurate.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I wish that our response, instead of being like, that's not true, let's look it up, was also, okay, let them.
Let them. Good for them.
Just let them.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
You obsessing over what someone else is doing isn't going to change your life at all.
And should certainly not be your motivator.
Oh. I got to get to the top.
Right.
Because you know what? It's really lonely up at the top. And then, like you've told us before, then you got to try and stay there.
Yeah. And I think I was there for like 2 years.
You were like, nah, I got to go.
And, well, I would always love to be at the top. But I see who's at the top now. And I'm not willing to go there.
Yeah,
to hit the bigger numbers. I would have to not have children right now. Like, there's so many things I would have to modify to hit those astronomical numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm not at a place in my life where I want a team. And if I can't manage it myself, nothing gives me more joy than sending a referral to an agent.
Right.
Who's going to pay me a referral fee.
Yeah, and wants it and is working hard.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, you want to talk a little bit about your why? Because I found a great article. I don't remember what the website was called. Life Lessons, something, I don't know. But Stephen Warley was the writer. And this is what he said. You also feel stuck because it might be the first time you recognize your desire for something more than you have been doing. You are tired of doing what you are supposed to do. And now you want to explore what it is you want to do. There is a way out of your stuckness. Find your why. So if you're feeling stuck and you're tired of doing what you're supposed to do and you want to figure out what you want to do, now we need to find our why. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he gives us some ideas for how to find your why. You're going to need to consider these things. 1, your values. So like, what are your actual values? What is your personal code of conduct? What is important to you? Your values. Your motivations. Like, why are you feeling compelled to do this? So this is part of your why. What are your passions? What do you enjoy doing? What, actually brings you joy? What are your strengths? What are you good at? Conducting self-experiments, tracking your thoughts, like in the course of your work, what are you thinking about? What comes up? Analyzing the thread of your career. So like, let's look at the path you've taken. Maybe even like, what were your previous jobs? What pushed you to become a realtor? Like, then how did you like travel through your real estate career? And I kind of like this last one to find your why. Ask your inner circle. Like, ask the people who know you, what do you think is my why? Like, why do I do what I mean, the people close to you know what motivates you.
Yeah.
So he said a meaningful why statement includes an emotional motivation behind the work you want to do. And then there's some good questions for us to do some critical thinking.
Yeah.
What gets you excited or you can't stop thinking about?
Would this be like a vacation or?
I would think in the actual context of your job. So what part do you get excited about? I'm so excited to go do that open house and meet a bunch of strangers and show them this beautiful property. You're like, no, thank you. I am so excited to go over to my new listing and help my seller figure out how to stage. And I cannot wait to see the before and the after.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So like, what gets you excited or what can't you stop thinking about? Here's the next question to ask yourself. Is there a problem or challenge that emotionally moves you to take action?
So I have become a pretty regular second listing agent.
Ah, yeah.
I went on one this morning before I came here.
Okay.
And I went in. It just came off the market this morning. I went in, did my walkthrough. I have to go send her an email after this. But it gets me really excited.
Like, we can figure
Like,
this
I want to
out.
crack the code. I want to get this house sold.
Yeah. Okay, I love it. So that's a perfect answer to that. What kind of work would give you a sense of satisfaction or fulfillment?
I find I get the most sense of fulfillment when I communicate with them face to face, whether
Mhm.
that's a video, even a phone call. I think the times in my life where I have maybe automated my systems a little too much and it was mostly email and text.
Yeah.
I was getting things done, but I didn't necessarily feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
I was missing that connection.
You were just robot.
Yeah.
You're just like getting through it. I know. I would say the time when I feel the most fulfilled is those one-on-one client interactions where they then say something like, wow, thank you so much for being so patient. We can't believe you've taken this much time with us. Thank you for taking us to all of these houses. I'm like, well, we've seen like 4.
Right.
But you're so welcome.
Yeah.
Because I think people don't get that experience in a lot of the, one-on-one, like with your insurance agent or like your dentist or whatever. It's like, or your doctor, like in and out, gotta go. And like just being told, thank you so much for taking this time with us, for answering our questions, for like really making sure we understand and making sure we feel comfortable and not rushing us. Like I like that feels fulfilling to me. And then at the end when they're like, we have changed our life.
Yeah.
Like this is literally changing our lifestyle. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. One of my favorite things we do every month in Hustle Humbly community is our live Zoom meetup with our members.
Yes, those meetings are always a highlight. I love hearing from agents in different markets and learning what's working for them.
And this month for our live, we are hosting a book club. We'll be reading and discussing The Go-Giver, and I can't wait to dive into it with our members.
Plus, community includes access to our private Facebook group where you'll find us and an amazing group of helpful agents.
And don't forget the referral and military referral lists. Having a network of like-minded agents is a game changer.
If you're not in community yet, now's the perfect time to join. You'll get the full prospecting templates pack, access to the podcast search feature, and be part of this month's book club on March 11th.
There are so many benefits and we'd love to have you. Get in now for just $25 a month. Sign up at hustlehumblypodcast.com/membership.
I think there's a couple more. So, what aspect of your career have you enjoyed across all of your past work experiences?
Okay.
Just like a thoughtful thing. And then what kind of work feels effortless to you but drives your curiosity to learn more?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Like,
do you have an example?
Well, yeah. Like, I feel like staging for me is very effortless.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a natural skill, or like I'm just a visual person, so those things make sense to me. But I am always curious to be like, okay, tell me the new trends, the new ideas. Like, let's figure out. So I want to grow that knowledge. Like, basically, I feel like I have an innate skill.
Yeah.
But I also would like to make myself better at that. So I'm curious about that particular topic. It would be like if you were a good artist and then you were like, I have a natural talent to paint, but I'm also going to take some art classes to see if I can learn new techniques.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's how I would describe that.
That's pretty neat.
Okay, so I enjoyed this article from our friend Steven.
I think that's really helpful. I also felt, so I have kind of learned with my hard-headed personality, anytime someone is like shooting on me, I'm like, no, I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
I actually won't do it even if it's best for me because of you.
Right. This may have been a great idea.
Yeah, but
still can't do it.
But because of your presentation and delivery,
it has to be my idea.
Like, I would always get super annoyed about the one thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I always wanted to be like, well, I have 3 things. I don't want it to be the one. I think it's like the more pressure that is put on things.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe that's why people do vision boards.
Right.
Because you can put so many fun things on a vision board that you see, my life isn't just about my children.
You don't want it to be one-dimensional.
Right.
You want to be, I think being multi-passionate is sort of a buzzword lately because when they say multi-passionate, they're talking about maybe you have multiple jobs.
Okay.
Maybe you got some side hustles. Maybe you've got your main thing. Maybe you got like a regular 8 to 5 and then you're selling real estate. And then you also have your Etsy shop where you sell your art prints. I don't know.
Yeah.
Multi-passionate. But what you're talking about is more like multi-dimensional. Like I'm not a person that likes just this.
Well, like I want to make enough money for my kids and my family. I also want to travel. And I also want to have the option to retire early if I want to.
Right. These are your values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those would be like my top 3 things. My top 3 whys.
I feel like everyone should have multiple.
Yeah. And all of that to say, the book about the one thing is actually a very good book.
I read the book. It was pretty good.
It's a good book.
But even when you read it, you're like, how do this?
And then it puts you in that awkward position of, do I want it for my children or do I want it for me to go to the Caribbean?
It's hard I don't know. Can we do both? Can we do both?
Yes, we can.
Can we do both?
I don't want to pick one thing.
I don't think you have to.
Well, it's sort of like our Monday morning meeting at the beginning of each year in our office. We go around in a circle and state what we want the year to look like, what worked last year, what didn't, what do we want our goal to be. And it was a few years, our Monday meeting now is pretty large. Like sometimes we have 20 to 25 people. It used to be anywhere from like 5 to 12
because it was supposed to be the new agent meeting.
Yes.
It is not a sales meeting.
Correct. It was just like our coffee with Connie sort of for new agents. But then as we found it so valuable, we never left. So it has grown. But I remember I was newer. It was one of my first goal meetings. And there was a lady in there whose husband was this huge developer and they ran a big subdivision. And that she only worked that subdivision. And I remember in the meeting, she went first, which made it really hard. Because she was like, I think my goal is to make at least $15,000 a month in income, which equates to this, this, this. And I just remember being like, whoa, wow, those are really big numbers. Like, I wonder if I'll ever make that in a month. And she wasn't saying it she was saying it because my husband has these houses.
I know how many there are.
She was basing these numbers very much on fact.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to be, look at me, I'm setting these big high goals. She in no way gave off that impression.
Because it was still work for her.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So one, it sort of intimidated me, though, to say,
fair.
If I could like maybe sell a house a month, one.
That would be great.
Yeah. But I also very much appreciated her thought process of how she came up with that number. Yeah. She's not, does everybody want to make $15,000 a month? Sure.
Yeah.
But what are you basing that off of? Is that even possible? Right. Or are you setting yourself up for failure and disappointment?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, so I'm like, when you're, I saw a meme that said, I hate the icebreakers where it asks you to give a most interesting fact about yourself because you don't hear what anybody else says until it's your turn. Because you're just thinking about what you're going to say. Yeah. That's how I felt.
That's how it was.
So then the second person that went was actually the complete opposite. She was new, but she was older. Her youngest had just started driving. So she was like, I'm not really needed at home anymore. And she said, my goal this year is to sell $5 million or $4 million in real estate. Okay. If I could do $4 million, she was like, I've been a stay-at-home mom. My husband has supported us and I'm so appreciative. And I like real estate and I want to be able to sell that many.
Yeah.
And it would help our family. We could go on more vacations. Like I want to travel to see my daughter in college.
Yeah.
And I thought, what a drastically different answer from the first. And I appreciated it.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, just like when the first lady went, everyone went, yes, that makes sense. Thank you for sharing. Then she goes, yes, that makes sense. Thank you for sharing. That's less than one house a month, maybe.
Yeah,
right. I mean, so it was just very helpful to get out of my own head, give myself permission to look at it. And at the time, my goal originally was if I could hit 6 million in volume, Tanner wouldn't have to work extra details in law enforcement. Like that would be enough where we were like so comfortable that he could let go of some of those details. And so it was like,
it would change your quality of life because then you got to spend more time together.
Yes. And to think of my goals in that way instead of, I just want to be
number 4, number 3, whatever.
I want to be the top.
Higher than I was.
I want the plaque. I
need the trophy.
I need to be able to post it on social media.
I need the trophy.
Correct. So this is so mindset related.
Yeah.
And because we have so many of our listeners that seem to be struggling a little bit with mindset.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that, yes, we need to evaluate the practical number side of this and why your goal is what your goal is.
Yeah.
And not just volume wise, but is your goal to build a team? Great. Why? Is your goal to start your own brokerage? Great. Why? Like figuring out.
Yeah, I have a story for you.
Okay.
So I like to follow Living with Landon.
Yes.
Landon is she's about my age. So she's late-ish 40s. Her kids are similar span to mine, but they're older than mine. So she had kids at a younger age. So her daughter is in college. Her son is a senior in high school right now. But when her daughter's like a junior now. So like when her daughter was getting into the like middle to end of high school, Landon had a brick and mortar store.
Okay.
So she had a store. She had this online. She was an influencer. She had basically a lifestyle blog, and then she was on Instagram. And then she was like, you know what? I'm going to open a store because she shares all this home decor stuff, clothes, whatever. She had everything she loved in the store. She loved the store. It was so great. We followed along, saw her open the stores. Hooray! Store was successful. And she had it for a couple of years, but she had to go to market and buy the things for the store. She had to like man the store and or hire people for the store. And it was a business. It was a business. And it took a lot of time.
Yeah.
And then as she got close or was into the beginning of high school with her oldest child, she was like, well, I'm about to my kids are going to go. Yeah. And this is the last little bit of time that I'll have a lot of time with them. So I'm going to close the store.
Whoa.
Because I want to spend time with my kids while they're basically getting to the end of the time they're going to live here. And she closed the store. Nothing wrong with the store. Store is fine. It was making money.
Yeah.
Store's fine. She closed the store. So that's now been, let's call it 4-ish years since she closed the store. And now her son has come up through high school with her being home. Like her daughter finished high school with her being home. And she talks about it a lot. And recently was talking about it again because she had another friend who owned like a salon. And the friend did lashes. That was what her salon did. And she said, I'm so proud of my friend. She also decided to step away and sell like the brunt of the business. She still goes there and works, but she doesn't own the business. She doesn't run the business. This other person took it over, like a young up and coming person, because she wanted to be with her kids. And that was the trade-off and she said, she felt courage because she saw Landon do it. Right? Like, hey, it's okay to step away from this thing that I thought was giving me value because I have another value that I would like to meet.
Yes. And I'm laughing a little because it's like so many agents are looking for that magical post. Like this year, this is how it went. And I have joined a new brokerage. Here's my huge announcement. Like, I am growing my team. Here's my huge announcement. What if Landon didn't give any backstory and was like, guess what? I have closed my store.
Huge announcement.
The store is closed.
I am so proud of myself. Big day. This is a big day.
Big day.
I'm really excited. But it's like, what are you living for?
What are you worried about?
What are you living for? What's so funny to me is sometimes I'll run across an agent who maybe had a very strong business and then stepped away.
Yeah.
Like moved, went back to corporate America, went to being a stay-at-home parent, whatever. And it's like as soon as you lift yourself out of it and put yourself somewhere else where you're like, I don't identify as an agent anymore because I'm not.
Yeah.
All of the numbers don't matter anymore.
I am a fact checker.
Yes.
So I have found the loudest, most visual ones that I see are the ones with the lowest profit margin in the books and are usually struggling the most.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's true all the time.
Right.
But I have fact checked several things. And I do this also because I sort of want to be the reminder when I see my friends struggling. When I see them saying, oh, well, maybe I should go here because this person posted how much they made. And it just makes me want to be like, don't look at them. Look at you.
Right.
Look at you.
Right.
And everything is not always what it seems. And even if they are making more than you, maybe they need more than you.
Well, some people need more just to sustain the business.
Yeah.
That marketing costs money. The fancy videos cost money. Like all of these things cost money.
My CPA, good old tax time right now.
Yeah.
He's like, you are the only real estate agent. He's like, and I work with a lot of real estate agents. You are the only one that, one, makes this much money, and two, you have hardly any expenses. He was like, you have to help me help you. I'm like, I don't know what.
I can't tell you money I didn't spend.
I know. Like, I don't even have something I could lie about. I just don't even have it. I can't.
Right. There is no billboard. There's no park bench. There's no
online leads.
There's no bucket full of swag.
There's no coach. There's no like all these things. And these are things he asked me about. He's like, these are things my other clients.
You're like, I don't know.
He was like, you don't have any of this?
No.
And I was like, no. And he literally was like, well, that's probably why you made so much money.
You're not wasting so much time on all this stuff.
And I just thought it was funny to hear it from a CPA that specializes in real estate. It kind of made me feel good.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
And then he's like, and here's what you owe. And
it's
I was like,
lot.
Gosh, darn it.
It's a lot. Sorry.
Right.
Can't fix that.
Yeah, is what it is.
That's a great story. Okay, I feel like I'm good.
Oh, speaking of, similar story on Landon, there's a local cookie shop here that really took off really fast, huge success. And then she quickly opened a second location. It took off, huge success. She, like within a year or two, made a post that she was closing the second location. And she was like, it was fine, but I was not.
Yeah.
My mental health, me trying to figure out how to just keep growing. And it's not that I couldn't do it. I just, it brought me to a level that I couldn't sustain.
Yeah.
And I'm backing it down because I want to manage one store.
Right.
I was happier then.
That was enough.
That was enough. But I really appreciated, she really shared a little bit about her, like, anxiety and things that were happening because she overextended herself.
Yeah.
And I appreciated how honest she was about that.
Yeah.
Because
this is just not exactly the point. This is not just in real estate. It is a mindset ingrained in the way the American society runs.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very American thing. Grow more, make the business. The fisherman was just fine.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm catching, a handful of fish.
He's like, I'm doing what you're dreaming of doing.
I'm taking a nap.
Yeah.
And for my whole life.
Probably in a hammock.
Not just to wait when I'm old and retired.
Drinking out of a coconut.
I know, right? So don't beat yourself up, but maybe use the questions to figure out.
Yeah. Yeah. Growing is fine. Growing is fine and good if you have a plan.
Yeah.
But see that plan through to the end.
Right.
Yeah, you can break it down a little bit, but I think people stop too early.
Right.
So after you pick that number or pick that team or pick that, whatever your goal was for growth, that was going to make you bigger in your business. Not only looking at the steps it takes to get there, but let's pretend you took those steps.
Right.
And you're there.
Yeah.
Now what?
Right. How much time did that take?
How much time did that take? How much are you paying people? How many staff members do you have to have? Are you okay managing your clients and your staff? Or are you transitioning to just managing your staff and they handle your clients?
That's fine, if that's what you want.
You need to think it all the way through to the end to say, why am I doing this to myself? Because every other real estate podcast that you will listen to will tell you, grow,
do it,
build more, go higher, hire more. Anytime I see a team that says, always hiring,
Yeah.
that's a red flag for sure. You can't always be hiring.
Well, you're growing. They got to grow.
I guess.
It's like, is that what you want to do?
Always hiring.
Always hiring. Well, also people
Always
are always
hiring.
leaving.
I was about to say.
It's kind of like, I love when people are like, I'm going to get a real estate assistant. I'm like, great, I have had one. They're lovely. But don't expect them to stay longer than a year.
Right.
Because they're going to outgrow you in a hurry. And unless you're just going to pay more. And then look, they eat into your number, right? So now you got to make more.
Yeah.
So you can pay them to stay longer because you want, but
yeah.
These are all the trappings of running a business.
Isn't that funny?
Right.
Just think about it. Just use your
brain. A lot of us, I
brain.
think, signed up for it, not really thinking about, I'm the whole business. I gotta figure out how to pay for all these things and do all the things and wear all the hats.
Yeah. We'll have to reshare that reel we made this week on me.
Where you're wearing all the hats. I love it. That one's good. Anything else? You're good?
I think this was good. I think it's even important for me to just because I feel like the first quarter of this year, there's a lot of loud people on Instagram.
That's true. And it's award season.
Oh, you're right. That's what it is.
Lee Brown calls it Realtor prom season.
Oh my gosh. That's why I've been feeling this way.
The post. Because we're seeing.
I used to be prom queen and I'm not anymore.
You're not anymore. I'm so sorry. You couldn't even get asked to the prom.
Not even.
Look, I'm not even getting the free magazine for the top producers anymore.
Oh, man.
Wah, wah. Do you know what? I don't even remember it exists because I don't get it.
Right.
So isn't that a funny thing? If you're in the top 100, you get the top producer magazine. But if you're not a top producer, you don't get the magazine. So it's just sort of like
you're looking at yourself.
Look at me. It's like I floated up out of my body, and I was like, I don't even know what's going on there.
Yeah,
nobody told me.
Who is?
If no one tells you who the top 20 are, how would you know?
You know because they're the ones you do the transactions with.
Maybe.
Like, I feel like I could list the top 20 right now just based on whose names I see.
Who shows up in the MLS
like, whose listings I'm showing, who's showing mine, who's operating in a professional way and getting to the closing table. Yeah. It's the same name.
People are like, where's Katy? I haven't seen her in a while. I'm like, I got other stuff going on.
Yeah, we got a lot going on over here.
Okay, that was it.
This was good.
Okay, great. I'm so glad you thought so.
Ready for a toast?
Oh, yeah, let's listen to a toast. Okay, bye.
Nikki Cronier. I am from South Alabama, and I am going to toast to Lindy Peterson. Lindy has been working hard, and I am so proud of her for coming down to Alabama and taking on a new territory. She is rocking it out.